Hello friends, you might have heard that Glasgow's Free Pride has banned drag performers. Organizers felt that drag acts would make some of those who were transgender or questioning their gender uncomfortable. It was felt that some drag performance, particularly cis drag, hinges on the social view of gender and making it into a joke. However, transgender individuals do not feel as though their gender identity is a joke. So the organizers want to create a safe space, and they feel that drag might make trans people uncomfortable. And you know what? They're not wrong. There are any number of reasons why trans people might have a problem with drag, and that's totally legitimate. Personally, if I were a trans woman and I had to hear ignorant comments accusing me of being a man in a dress, I might feel a little annoyed to see a performer making a big spectacle about being a man in a dress, especially when that man gets to go home, put the wig back on the shelf, and enjoy all the privileges of being cisgender. Free Pride is correct that a drag show making light of gender tropes might make some trans or questioning people uncomfortable. The organizers are trying to do the right thing, and they're within their rights to decide who can and can't perform at their event. But even though they can exclude drag performers, I don't think they should exclude drag performers. Though their intentions are good, this policy amounts to gender policing. Let's look at what it does. By excluding drag performers from a safe space, they're implying that drag is unsafe, it's dangerous, that people ought to be protected from it. It's true, drag performances challenge conventional notions about what defines a man or a woman, pushing audiences outside of their comfort zones. Sometimes drag is ridiculous, sometimes it's glamorous, sometimes it's grotesque, sometimes it's beautiful. Drag can be confrontational. It has the power to provoke strong reactions. And if my gender identity was under assault every day, I can see how watching cis performers twist and play with gender for the entertainment of cis audiences could feel at best thoughtless and at worst cruel. But remember, we're all in this together. The LGBT community is a jumbled up quilt bag of religious communities and leathermen, dykes on bikes, suburban families, drag queens, sex workers, the odd Republican, and countless others. Within those groups, you find people who identify all over the gender and sexuality spectrum. We don't always agree, and we don't always get along. Yet the reason the letters LGB and T go together is because we all experience oppression for being gender nonconformists. Whether it's because of how we look, or how we act, or who we love, LGBTs bend and break the rules of what men and women are supposed to be. And we risk being punished because of it. Trans people, most of all. Pride started when trans people and drag queens pushed back against that punishment together. It happened at the Cooper's Donut Riot in 1959, Compton's Cafeteria in 1966, the Black Cat in 1967, and the big one, Stonewall, in 1969. Excluding people is antithetical to how Pride began and why it exists today. After all, the whole point of Pride is to support the different ways that people do gender, to provide a safe space where nobody's being excluded for not following the traditional rules. And crucially, it's to be a model of inclusion for the rest of the world, a way for everyone to see what inclusion looks like and hopefully to adopt it themselves. That's why excluding a segment of our community, even if it's to spare people's feelings, is harmful. If it's a more inclusive world that we want, we've got to model that inclusivity ourselves. In the meantime, let's stop piling on Free Pride. They've set themselves up as an alternative to conventional Pride celebrations, and they're just trying to do the right thing. If nothing else, they've sparked a worldwide conversation, and that's more than most other Pride celebrations can say. And remember, it's okay to have a problem with drag. Let's talk about that, instead of excluding performers from a place where everyone's supposed to feel welcome. Thanks for watching. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts about drag queens and Pride. You can leave a comment on this video or tweet at me at @MattBaum. And you can check out my channel for more videos about LGBT issues, including this one about the difference between blackface and drag. And you might enjoy some of my other projects. I just published a book called Defining Marriage that's about some of the people who fought to change marriage and how fighting for marriage changed them. You can find it at definingmarriage.com. I also have a podcast called The Sewers of Paris that's all about the entertainment that changed the lives of gay men. You can find that at sewersofparis.com.